Welcome, everyone. I'm Philip Dineen, President of the Board of Education. Would everyone please stand for the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nice turnout tonight. Just fire code announcement. Everyone's aware of the exits to your left and to your right, and following the directions in the event of an emergency. Okay. All right, we're going to move on to our Islip Pride and presentations. Dr. O'Hara, we're going to be doing the tenure recognition.
Yeah, so we are excited to recognize 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our valued faculty members who were awarded tenure last spring. Typically, this celebration and recognition would happen in the springtime, but as is life during the pandemic, a lot of things get rescheduled. So I would like to ask Mr. Martin to come down and be our first presenter. Dr. Martin, excuse me.
Gotta see if I made it big enough font just yet, but I don't think I did. All right, there we go. Thank you, Dr. O'Hara. Good evening, I'm Timothy Martin, the Islip Middle School principal. 4 short years ago, we interviewed Jorge Brat. I know at the time, by his own admission, he was torn on taking a position here at Islip Middle School. And that was because he was in his 2nd school at that time and his 3rd year. He had 5 years of teaching under his belt, and he believed he was making a difference. He was in a bilingual charter school in the Bronx for E&L students with Spanish as their dominant language, a place where his personal strengths could make a difference. In those 3 years, he carved a path and made connections he truly enjoyed. Leaving those children would be very difficult. Fortunately, for our language learners here, Jorge made the jump from the Bronx to Islip. I can say, however Jorge made those connections there, he continues that here with our students, staff, and parents. He has built a comfort and confidence with our students, not only the language learners, but with all of the students in each class he teaches. While here in Islip, he has had as many as 5 languages in his classes. Some of these students speaking little to no English at all. You may recall in the fall of 2019, he was a member of my team who showcased Microsoft Translator at a Board of Education meeting. This technology has been an incredible tool for our non-English speaking students and continues today. It is an initiative like this that makes Jorge an asset to the children of Islip. I am honored to be here as he is recognized for tenure in Islip, and we are fortunate he's a member of our middle school team. We look forward to many successful years with Jorge, teaching our students here in Islip Middle School. Congratulations, Jorge. I wasn't sure if you were coming down or not, so.
No, you're okay. You're good. We just want to recognize you.
Thanks, Jorge. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. Mr. Cameron.
Oh.
Jim.
Good evening, everybody. I am here and I'm going to discuss first Nicole Morrissey. So, Nicole Morrissey has been an asset to the Islip School District since her arrival 3 years ago as a 5th grade teacher at Comac Road Elementary School. Nicole did not come to us as a new teacher. In fact, she had previously been tenured in the New York City school system. A similarity that Nicole and I have, both having file numbers still ingrained into our brains from the city school system. However, Nicole has been instrumental in many things that we do at Crest every single day. Nicole has dedicated herself to her students and truly believes in a student-centered approach to teaching and learning. Nicole has also dedicated herself to her own professional growth and learning. She actually went to administrative school, and she was my intern last year. Now, what many people don't know is that being a principal during a pandemic is really easy, and I think that everybody should do it. Now, if that's the case, that being a principal's intern during a pandemic should be described as watching your principal riding a bike in a snowstorm. The truth is, we all know interns do all the work. And what she didn't realize was she was the one riding the bike last year. It was much more challenging for Nicole because everything around us was just unknown. But regardless, Nicole continued to pedal and continued to work extremely difficult in a difficult time as we adopted our new English language arts curriculum. Nicole handled it with enthusiasm, grace, and professionalism. Overall, Ms. Morrissey is a dedicated professional who has a warm and caring demeanor. She is always ready to help her students and her colleagues, and most recently her husband Bobby when he had an injury at the end of the school year last year. Regardless, Nicole is not afraid to put in that hard work that is necessary for our students to succeed each and every day. I cannot wait to see what Ms. Morrissey accomplishes in the coming years. I expect her growth as an educator to be an amazing sight. Nicole, congratulations. Miss Megan Flynn. Megan is joined here with her dad, Tom, who I had the pleasure of meeting tonight. Megan is a true professional in every sense of the word. What she has been able to accomplish the last few years working in Islip at all levels of education has truly been inspirational. I first met Megan when she was a part-time resource room teacher here at the middle school while I was the assistant principal running through the halls after whatever Jason Cohen does nowadays. Since that time, Megan has been the ultimate utility player for everything in Islip. Megan has worked in almost every single building in the district. She has worked in every avenue and facet of special education. She's worked in self-contained. She's worked in life skills. She's been a co-teacher at multiple levels. She's done resource room at multiple levels. For the last 2 years, she's co-taught 4th and 3rd grade. And she's done it all with absolute appearance of ease and calmness. While Nicole might be an expert bike rider, Megan is an avid traveler and loves to go see her sister and brother-in-law up in Canada. Megan's most likely a phenomenal skier, but her true talent is being able to adapt to every single setting and every single child and every single co-teacher that she has worked with. But her most amazing talent is her ability to keep track and organize data in everything that we do with our children. When I had met with Megan last year in December, I said, Megan, we've had a lot of meetings this year. And there they all were, a big list, and Kate's chuckling because there was a big list of all the meetings that we had. I was like, wow, we met that many times. Megan had it under control. Megan has been an instrumental part of the team at Crest in all areas, in and outside the classroom. Megan has actively participated in many areas and committees in the building. Megan has participated in our continued journey in revitalizing our MTSS and RTI programs. She's been an instrumental team member in our Read to Lead book club to promote professional growth, learning, and experiences in our staff. She's also a member of our Lighthouse action teams. Megan is willing to do anything that is necessary to not only make the lives of each other better, our students better, but herself, to be the best professional that she can be. Megan plans her own professional growth and seeks out advice and coaching from supervisors and peers equally. Megan, you are a tremendous asset to Islip Public Schools, to the students at Comac Road Elementary School, most especially me as a principal, because you make me look good every day. So Megan, I wish you congratulations and many years of continued success.
Ms. Bolton, Jamie?
Good evening. Congratulations to everyone being recognized for tenure tonight. Teaching is a very special profession, and working with children is so rewarding. Thank you so much for all your hard work and your dedication to Islip School community. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed, especially this past year. Tonight, we are also recognizing a very special school counselor, Nicole Hall. As school counselors, we know not every moment of every child's day is happy, but we know that the way we project ourselves can certainly and positively affect a child's day. That is ultimately what Nicole Hall does. She makes lives better. She opens her heart to children, to staff, and all those around her. She indeed brightens children's lives every day. It is probably why her plaque on her door reads, "The Chairperson of Happiness." Nicole's office is next to mine, and our walls are very thin at the high school. Working in the high school, we know that not all students can contain their excitement, so I can hear them at times. The laughter and connections Nicole makes with her students is probably something that I'm most proud of. Yes, she's amazing with the college experience. Yes, she's the first person to help them ask. Actually, you really don't even have to ask her. She's just always there helping. But working next to her, I can actually hear their smiles. Even when something doesn't start out happy in her office, it always ends up better in some way. Nicole's dedication goes beyond our counseling offices. She's worked tirelessly with the IDA task force and continues to work with the Buccaneer University. She has even been our varsity cheer coach. She has since hung up her pom-poms, as she has realized her talents can only go so far. Even as the Chairperson of Happiness, she needs her rest. Nicole has been able to maintain her high level of energy over the past years. I've seen her coffee cup double in size since day one, but her enthusiasm, work ethic, and kindness have only gotten better. Nicole, congratulations on your tenure. We are so happy for you, and thank you so much for making a difference.
Ms. James?
Good evening. I'm Brianna James, principal of Sherwood. It is with great pleasure that I stand here tonight to congratulate Mark Siegel on receiving tenure in the Islip School District. Mark began his career as the pioneer teacher of the REACH program at Wing Elementary School. He has since come to Sherwood, bringing with him a wealth of knowledge. Since starting in the district, Mark has survived 5 principals, 3 co-teachers, and a pandemic, and he's done it with grace. I asked Mark's colleagues if they'd be interested in sharing a few words that could be shared tonight, and they beyond jumped at the idea, sending me not only a few words, but paragraphs. To share some of their words and some of mine, Mark is a team player whose planning and preparation truly ensures the students are receiving everything they need in order to succeed. He is flexible and responds to the demands of the job calmly and with creativity. Mr. Siegel's students love having him in their school and appreciate his humor, patience, and motivational teaching style. It is apparent to all that he knows his students well and is committed to their success. Mark creates a nurturing learning environment and sets high expectations for all students and for himself. Mark's strong professional commitment and dedication is evident in everything he does, whether it be working alongside his co-teacher, working independently with students, collaborating with colleagues and supervisors, scooping ice cream at a PTA fundraiser, volunteering to be part of a committee or 3, marching in a parade, or working every summer for the past 4 years with the children in the REACH program. If that doesn't scream dedication, I don't know what does. Everything about Mark makes him an absolute asset to the Islip School District. Almost everything. We have learned recently that he's a die-hard Mets fan. Had that been known earlier, not so sure. All kidding aside, whether you know him as Mark, Mr. Siegel, that die-hard Mets fan, or that guy who rides the Peloton, one thing is certain. You know a great teacher and a great all-around person. And I've seen this myself. Although Mark might appear to have a quiet demeanor, one should not be fooled. In the words of a good friend of his, he has a wicked sense of humor. Mark, I know I can speak for everyone when I say we're looking forward to supporting you throughout the remainder of your career in Islip, and we are thankful for all you do for our children. Congratulations.
Mr. Rochester?
Good evening, everybody. My name is John Rochester. I'm the principal of the high school. One of the most honored experiences that an administrator could have is to speak on behalf of a teacher or staff member receiving tenure. As Ms. Fulton alluded to before, achieving tenure is a milestone in this educational career that we've all embarked on. And to me, this is the noblest of all professions, because we are the gatekeepers to all other professions. And tonight, I'm honored to speak on behalf of Scott Jackson. My time with Scott has been nothing short of remarkable. His presence, his professionalism, his dedication to children, and to creating an environment that is supportive, that is innovative, that is empathetic, is a true testament to what not only the Islip High School, but the Islip High School community is looking for. You know, when a teacher arrives at this time where they're awarded tenure, we acknowledge that they have achieved something. But what is even more important for me is looking forward to what he's going to do throughout the remainder of his career. I have to step my style game up. He is an impeccable professional, and his attire is unbelievable. We do have the same style, hairstyle preferences, so I think that also works out. But one of the things that I'm so proud of is that last year, Mr. Jackson wore a great number of hats in this turbulent time that we all have been going through. And in the midst of that, he was doing his internship. And there was an opportunity to watch him navigate between elementary at the K-1 level all the way up to the high school. And he never misses a beat. It is true, genuine education at its finest. He cares about what he does. He cares about his job. He cares about creating an environment that is best for our kids. And I'm so proud of him, and I look forward to what he can do. So, Scott, congratulations on your tenure.
And Dr. Giacchetto.
So glad I get to go last. Waiting for your name to be called is probably more nerve-wracking than being up here, to be quite honest. So, 3 years ago, Wing welcomed Justin Lowell to the Islip School community. And on that day, he brought with him 14 years of experience as an elementary school teacher. Not normal for a new teacher in a building. Along with his experience, he gave Wing and our children a new option that had never been seen in years. Justin is the devoted teacher who's often one of the first to arrive at the building every single morning. And if you stroll down his hallway, you're lucky enough to hear some classic rock being played from the stereo system in his room. Come in his classroom during the day, and you'll find an empathetic teacher who's constantly striving to find ways to reach all of his students. Justin looks at his children as individuals, and these children all possess strengths and weaknesses. He attends to his students and recognizes them for the great things they do daily, because he genuinely believes in what is possible in all of them. Lessons are geared to the many types of learners, often incorporating hands-on learning experiences that helps develop a better understanding of concepts taught. In about a month, you'll find his classroom filled with the scent of bologna, just bologna, and students excited about making bologna sandwiches for those who are less fortunate. He sees the importance in these types of projects. They're at the heart of developing active citizenship. His lessons and activities are geared towards expanding beyond the walls of his classroom and providing opportunities for students to understand that they may be one of the smallest in their community, but the impact that they can have is as significant or even greater than those around them. His record of bologna sandwiches is currently 137. I am sure he's going to be looking to try to break that this year. And I always enjoy the smell of bologna in that hallway during that time of the year. As this year began, nothing has changed for Justin, other than that he can be called a tenured teacher. He still comes in early, prepares for his day, reflects on what has worked well for his students the day before, and strives to be better at serving his children in his classroom. Tenure doesn't alleviate the pressure on someone like Justin, but instead is another accomplishment that will motivate him to the next goal in his career. Congratulations on your tenure, Justin, and continue to strive to be a better version of yourself so that our children of Islip can reap the rewards of your professional growth. It is with great pride that we acknowledge the tenure of such a consummate professional. Again, congratulations, Justin Molly.
So I would just like to add that for a superintendent, recommending tenure to a Board of Education is possibly the most important decision or recommendation a superintendent could make each year. Although I was not able to be part of recommending this group of professionals to tenure, after listening to the accolades and the comments this evening, I could say without any worry that Dr. Semmel and her team got it right. So congratulations to everybody who was recognized tonight. And what I would say is keep up the great work for the many, many years to come, because you have an opportunity every day to change students' life trajectories. And it sounds like every morning that's what you're doing. So congratulations. I would ask all of the teachers we just recognized to assemble maybe in the back section for a quick photograph. Thank you. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you, everyone. All right, just another piece for me. We'll take a pause. Last week was Board of Education Appreciation Week. New York State Assemblyman Jared Gandolfo had planned to be here with us this evening to recognize our Board of Education. Unfortunately, he had a family emergency and was unable to join us, so we hope he'll be here at a future board meeting. I think it's obvious to many how important the role of the Board of Education trustee is to students and community members. With the position comes countless hours of reading, meetings, attendance at events, professional development, and of course, decision-making. For over 23 years, I've been attending board meetings roughly twice a month. I've seen all forms of Board of Education trustee. Without hesitation, I can proudly tell everybody here tonight and everybody watching at home that this Board of Education, this group of people, is without a doubt the most student and community-centered team I have ever seen. Each of them is professional, dedicated, and focused on helping all students succeed. I can tell all the residents of Islip you are most fortunate to have this group as your Board of Education. And I'd just like to take a moment to recognize each of our Board of Education members with a certificate. And it says, in recognition of outstanding service to public education and for his dedication to the children, families, and entire Islip community, as President of the Board of the Islip Board of Education, Philip Deneen. And the same recognition to Mr. Leggio. And to Mr. Austin.
Thank you so much.
Dr. O'Hara, thank you for those kind words for the Board of Education. You know, and I've said this before, and a lot of people might have already heard it. You know, people say, why do you run for the board? Why are you on the Board of Education? And I can honestly say the common denominator amongst all of us is to see students succeed. And that's why we're here. We want to see students succeed and give everyone the best education and school experience that they can get here. And I feel that we do that here. We have a great staff here, administration, teachers, and everyone working collectively together is what makes this a great school district. So thank you to everyone that's here. Thank you. Okay, that's it on our pride and presentations. We're going to move on to our agenda items. Again, if there's any questions from the audience on our agenda items, I would ask that you please raise your hand, come to the microphone, name and address, ask your question, and we'll get that agenda item answered. Before we move to the public, is there any questions from the Board of Education on any of our agenda items?
Mr. Deneen.
Yes, Mr. Corrine?
Either Dr. O'Hara or Dr. Smalling, could you just provide a brief overview for the community related to agenda items E, F, and G?
Yes, E, F, and G refer to the BCIP and the SCEP plans that the district creates and asks for approval from the state. Those plans essentially are plans by which each of the district and two schools within our district, which is Sherwood and Comac Road, come together and develop a needs assessment for what they feel is something that they need to focus on in those two schools and in the district. Inclusive in those plans are basically three categories that stand out. You know, we are going to continue our efforts on social emotional learning across the district and those schools. And that would be, as you're aware, we focus on the 7 habits, highly successful students, and the Leader in Me program. And and those both work together, and it's a commitment that we've been doing for many years in the district, a few years, but we're continuing to forge ahead in those areas. Additionally, the plans include continued professional development in areas of English language arts. Most notably, we've been doing a tremendous push in our elementary classrooms with units of study and Teachers College. And this year, kind of for us, the plan talks about professional development. Sorry, my mask is like kind of going up with it. Include professional development in those areas. That's really, really kind of after a few years, we can finally say that we have a really good foothold in those areas, and we've made a tremendous turnover in ELA and implementing those different units of study in those areas. The third thing that stands out for us is that we are going to focus on small group instruction. Small group instruction is something that we've gotten away from during COVID, as you're aware, because of the fact that we had social distancing things in place. But we find a need that to kind of bridge that gap between some of the learning loss that was had, that we feel that small group instruction is important, and we have plans in place that are spoken to in those processes to talk about how we can make that better. So those are the three things that stand out for us. After board approval tonight, these plans will be on our website, and you can see them and go through them. And if there's ever any questions from the community or the board, feel free to reach out to my office, and I will explain anything in those plans.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions from the board on the agenda items? Okay. Any questions from the public on any of our agenda items? Okay. All right, normally we do consent agenda. We're going to pull 5J, 5K, and 5P from consent. So can I get a motion for consent 5A through 5I and 5L through 5N? So that was Mr. Leggio, and the second was Mr. Clarine?
Second.
And that was second, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
Bill, did you do O?
What's that?
Did you do letter O?
That's, yeah, but that's just the motion for consent.
Okay, oh, sorry, okay. I'm sorry.
So, okay, so that's on, okay, now we're going to vote on 5J, which is the approval of the emergency use of insecticides. Any motion?
Motion.
I'm sorry, who made the motion? Mr. Kareem? Can I get a second? Is there a second on that motion?
I second it.
Oh, seconds, Mr. Austin. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
Opposed.
Two opposed, abstained? Okay, that motion carried.
I cannot open on my vote, excuse me, for that one. It won't be on.
You'll put it, okay, all right, because it's pulled?
J and K, there's no.
Okay,
vote.
all right. Item 5K, authorization of salary differential payment. Get a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Clarine, can I get a second?
Second.
Second was Mr. Bueller. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Abstained? That motion will carry. And the last one is item 5P. It's the approval of additional personnel schedule. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
It's Mr. Clarine. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second is Mr. Austin. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
Abstain.
And that motion carried. Okay. Mrs. Fitzgerald, would you go to personnel schedule, please?
The A1 tonight on instructional appointments, probationary appointments in both reading and E&L, in addition to permanent and per diem substitutes. The A2 is instructional resignation and substitutes in all buildings. A3, this is first page lead, secondary. The A13, sports sub for the crew position. Non-instructional B1, appointments in the business office, individual aides and monitors, custodial work and teacher assistants, and non-instructional substitutes. The B2, non-instructional resignation and termination, also instructional aides and monitors, and account clerk, elementary instructional aide. The A9, the appointment of the coordinator of special education.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald. There's also an addition, I'm working off an old sheet, there's an actually 5Q that we didn't vote on, which we need to vote on right now. That's the approval of the memorandum of agreement for CSE Islip Cafeteria Unit. So I need a motion on item 5Q.
Make a motion.
That is Mr. Austin, can I get a second?
Second.
And that is Mr. Bueller, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? All right, that carried. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'm sorry I missed that one on my sheet. Okay. All right, at this time of our meeting, we're going to move on to our public questions for the Board of Education. If you have any questions for the board, I just ask that you raise your hand. One person speak, come down to the microphone, name and address, ask your questions for the Board of Education, and we'll get that answered for you. In fairness of time, if you could keep your questions to a 3-minute minimum, that will help facilitate all the questions that we might have for the meeting, and we can keep this moving. Before I entertain any questions, I know there was a couple emails out there that were sent to the Board of Education, and one I just want to comment on because maybe someone will be coming here and asking about it. This was the public school district vaccination survey that was sent out to all the school districts, wondering if the school district would be a site to provide vaccinations to any individuals that might need that. It was the consensus, I'm speaking with Dr. O'Hara, that the school district will not be participating in as a vaccination site. There are, we're not in a rural area. There's many places that you can go to get vaccination if you do need that. Those resources are out there for you, and we'll be using the district. Any comments on that?
No, I think you said it well, thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, so are there any questions for the Board of Education on public comments?
I was reading through my minutes, so this is a little, hi everyone, it's a little after the fact, but I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Address?
Oh, Kristen Presti, 134 St. Mark's Lane. I have a question about, I know that you just approved it, is the emergency use of insecticides. I was just looking it up. Do you know the main, I know 2 of you voted it down, so I appreciate that, but I know that a lot of us have been here and we're all in the business of the well-being of kids. That's why we're talking about masks. That's why we're talking about vaccines. So did everybody do the research on the background of the insecticide that is going to be laid on the field in which these kids play?
Yes, we did.
Trichlorfluorine?
Yeah, we did. We spoke to our buildings and grounds, and we've got all the information back on that, and actually how it was going to be all applied. Dr. O'Hara, I don't know if you want to bring up.
It's approved by the EPA and the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation.
For school usages, I'm assuming?
Yes, and has to be applied under the appropriate, according to the application directions, and that's going to happen here.
And so, just what I just looked up real quick, which I'm not pretending to be a professional, but it said it's going to need to have multiple applications, and it's best suited when it's put down 3 to 4 days apart. Are you going to be able to do that when the kids are not on the field?
I would.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I wasn't aware that it said multiple applications, but I can tell you that it will be applied according to the application guidelines.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Okay. Any other questions for the Board of Education? Okay. All right then. If there's no other questions for the Board of Education, we're going to move on to our reports and correspondence. The NISMA annual business meeting.
I attended. That was done virtually this year on October 18th. It's an annual meeting held every year to approve the legislative resolutions put forth by the New York State School Boards Association. And you can access these resolutions on the New York State School Boards Association website, which is nyssba.org.
Okay, great, thank you, Mrs. Farr. Thank you for attending that. Okay, well, we have our, actually, we were supposed to have our New York State School Boards Association in Manhattan, the 20, last Saturday, Sunday?
24th?
Yeah, right. But it was canceled due to COVID. So now actually there's a virtual meeting. I don't know if anyone's, you can sign on whenever, but I mean, has anyone any comments on it or?
Did you do that yet?
Yeah,
Not yet,
yeah.
not yet, I
It
haven't.
seemed like once it was canceled, everybody's schedules filled up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, maybe next year, hopefully, it's a nice conference when you can go. You can, a lot of good topics are talked about. Okay, we're gonna move on to our PTA updates.
Sure. So there were no meetings that took place over the last 2 weeks, but that doesn't mean there wasn't a lot of planning behind the scenes for some events that were coming up. For Wing, they have a pumpkin patch on October 28th. Nature Nick is coming on the November 5th, and they're running a Miss Chocolate fundraiser from November 1st through the 19th. At Comac Road, they have a drive-through trick-or-treat event planned for October 29th. It's $10 per car. They're doing a Meadow Farms fundraiser from October 18th to November 18th. And they are in plans to resurrect the Blue Jeans Ball since it wasn't able to take place because of COVID. The middle school has a Spirit Wear fundraiser through October 30th. Their next meeting is November 15th. There were no updates for Sherwood, SEPTA, or the high school at this time.
Okay, thank you,
So can I
Mrs.
add
Green.
one thing?
Sure.
I just wanted to say thank you to all the class advisors in the high school for the job that they did
Oh,
with the
yeah.
students, putting together the floats. I'm sure everybody saw them in the parade. They went above and beyond, extra time, the planning, everything. The kids had a great time doing it. It was a lot of fun, and I wanted to thank them because they don't get thanked for it enough. So thank you.
We should add a special thanks to Ms. Stern because she was the driving force behind most of the planning for that. It was an exceptional weekend there. Thank you.
You know, I've seen a lot of the, the homecoming parades, and I have to say, I think the floats this year, the thought, the work that went into it was unbelievable. And to the parents that, donated the trucks, their trailers, thank you, because without that, you can't do that. But there's a lot of hours in. I remember my sons were in float building, and but the floats this year, I don't know, did they do first, second, third? Did they do that on the
I didn't
floats?
hear about that.
So the seniors won the float? Oh, okay, all right, very good, all right.
That's good.
So congratulations to the seniors, but congratulations to everyone. Those floats were just wonderful, and it was a great community event, and it was nice just to see everyone come out, and that's what it's all about, finally, getting out and getting back to some normalcy. Okay, we're going to move on to our dates to remember. November 2nd will be the Superintendent's Conference Day. Our next Board of Education meeting will be on November 9th in the high school auditorium. Our executive session will begin at 6:30 with the public portion to start at approximately 7:30 p.m. And in the interim, if anyone has any questions or anything for the Board of Education, please send your emails over, and we'll get those answers out to you as soon as possible. Thank you for attending our board meeting, and before we close, to all those who received tenure tonight, congratulations again on the Board of Education. Much success in your career in education, and very proud of you all. Thank you so much. Folks, have a safe night, stay safe, and can I get a motion for adjournment? It's Mr. Leggio, and that is Mr. Bueller. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you all.